Goal 5 notes area and perimeter. When we're talking about area, we're referring to the space inside something. This would be like the carpet on a floor or the tile or even painting a wall. When we talk about perimeter, then we're talking about the distance around. This would be like if you put a border on your wall or a fence on your yard. First example we're going to look at is a triangle. The triangle has side lengths 12, 9, and 6. I'm also going to drop an altitude down on the outside of this triangle. That's 5. The formula for the area of a triangle is half base times height. In this triangle, the base is the flat piece that it rests on here, which is 6. And the height is how tall it is, or our altitude. Half times 6 times 5 is 15. And we always label area units squared because it's a two-dimensional measure. To find the perimeter of a triangle, since it has 3 sides, you add all 3 sides together. So in this triangle, I would add 6, 12, and 9. It has to be the actual sides of the triangle, so you don't want to look at the altitude. And that gives me 27 units. The second shape we're going to look at is a rectangle. What makes something a rectangle is it has 4 right angles and opposite sides are congruent. So these 2 sides, left and right, and the top and the bottom are congruent. So I'm going to say that the bottom and top are 10 inches and the left and the right are both 5 inches. To find the area of a rectangle, we're going to do length times width, or you might hear it called base times height. Again, the length or the base, the flat piece that it rests on, is 10. The width or the height, how tall it is at a right angle, is 5. A lot of times those two can be switched around. And this is 50 inches squared. If they don't give you a label, you would say units. If they give you a label, for example, inches, you would use that label. To find the perimeter of a rectangle, rather than adding all 4 sides together, which you certainly could do, you're going to add 2 lengths plus 2 widths. Length plus length plus width plus width. You certainly could do the longer formula. The other one is just a little bit shorter. When we plug in our numbers here, we get 2 times 10 plus 2 times 5. 2 times 10 is 20. 2 times 5 is 10. And this is 30 inches. We do not square it here because perimeter is one-dimensional. The next one we're going to look at is a circle. Here's my circle. I'm going to mark my center, and I'm going to say the diameter or the distance across here is 8. So the distance all the way across the circle is known as the diameter, and that distance halfway, just half of that piece there, is the radius. So in this circle, the radius, half of that, is 4. The formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. R stands for radius. So in this circle, we're going to plug in 4. So be very careful whether they give you the diameter or the radius. Pi times 4 squared is 16 pi, or if you write that as a decimal, 16 times 3.14 is 50.24 units squared. You should be comfortable writing this answer either exact, using the pi, or as a rounded decimal. For circle, we have a different word for perimeter, and that word is circumference. So the perimeter or circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, or pi times diameter, because 2 times the radius is the same thing as the diameter. I'm going to plug in my information. 2 pi times 4 gives me 8 pi, or if I put that as a rounded decimal, 25.12, and perimeter is one-dimensional, so I'm going to say units. Please make sure you have all of these formulas memorized for area and perimeter of triangle, rectangle, and circle. The next example we're going to look at is on a coordinate plane. Find the area of a triangle with vertices 0, 0, 7, 0, and 0, negative 5. So I'm going to kind of just sketch out that grid. So here's one vertice at 0, 0, one at 7, 0, right 7, up or down 0, and then the last is at 0, negative 5. So this is my triangle here. I can either count or find the distance of each of these sides, and it's meeting at a perfect right angle in the corner. My formula for the area of a triangle is half base times height. I'm going to say that my base is 7 and my height is 5. If you switch those two around, you'll still get the same answer, 17.5, and this is units squared. At this point, please pause your video and try the problems on the back. Then I will go over them. All right, number 1, your answer for area is 55 units squared, and perimeter is 32 units. Number 2, your area is 16 units squared, and your perimeter is 16 units. Number 3, your area is 12 units squared, and your perimeter is 18 units. If you could not see, the number right here was a 3. Number 4, that radius of our circle right there is an 8. The area is 9 pi units squared, and the perimeter is 6 pi units. Number 5, your area is 49 units squared, and your perimeter is 28 units. Number 6, your area is 30 units squared, and your perimeter is 30 units. Number 7, if you could not see, that number right there is a 12. Your area is 126 units squared. Your perimeter is 54 units. Number 8, your area is 12.5 units squared, and your perimeter is 15 units. Here, the diameter is labeled as 10. Your area is 25 units squared, and your perimeter is 10 pi units. Again, pause the video and try numbers 10 to 12. Your answer for number 10 is 36 centimeters squared, 1140 inches squared, and 12, 36 pi feet squared. Your last three, 16 units squared, 4 pi units squared, and 9 units squared. Please make sure you've tried all of the problems on the back, and we will go over any questions tomorrow.